Hi, today I'm going to be talking about taking responsibility. Let's do it. So I want to cover something very, very interesting today, and it's something that perhaps initially might seem a strange thing to talk about, because it may sort of seem as though it's that almost something you end up dwelling on. But essentially what today I want to talk about is how important it is to take 100% responsibility for everything in your life. Now you may be saying, well, what about all the things I can't control? And you know, the weather, politics, etc., other people's attitudes. How you react or how you respond to any event in your life is 100% down to you. Now, it's not something that comes off the bat. There's obviously an element of practice to that, because somebody dies, sort of to control your reaction, your response and your feelings around that is difficult. You know, it's that's a natural thing to be, depending obviously who it is, but to be devastated, that's normal. But just be aware of your feelings and how you react, and I think that's the key. It's something that astronauts train, is every eventuality. So if something goes wrong, they kind of know, they've got the training, they know how to do it. I scuba dive, and same sort of thing there. You basically learn, if something goes wrong, rather than just that initial knee-jerk reaction and panic, you learn what to do to solve the problem. And obviously that can save your life, as in with the astronauts. And so the thing is, it's almost training yourself to understand, okay, this has happened and this is how I'm reacting. So being aware of your feelings, and this is how I'm reacting. Is that going to be good for me or bad for me? Now it sounds very sort of long and convoluted way of everything, and makes you sort of almost feel like you're overthinking everything, but this, after a while, this does come naturally, and you're more aware, more sort of objective of your reaction to things, as opposed to being subjective, which is more sort of normal. And this is why this ties into being 100% responsible for everything in your life, because that responsibility that you're taking is the things you can control, which is the time you get up, making decisions about certain things, whether or not you go somewhere, all those kind of things, how much work you put in, whether you start something or don't finish it, whatever that may be. But also included in that is how you react to things, because that is also part of you and part of your decision process. Ultimately, everything that happens to me, everything that happens to you, we ourselves basically ultimately decide that. Sometimes it's a sort of a degree of subconscious decision. I said, if your car crashes, it's natural to be annoyed, pissed off, think, oh, like, car's broken down, what I'm going to do, etc., etc. But ultimately I'm deciding that within my own mind, and that's the key of being in control of those decisions, those feelings, so that when you're aware of those decisions and feelings, you can then alter them so they're not as devastating as perhaps they once would have been.
Meanwhile,
quick comedy update for you. What's brown and sticky? A stick. And that decision process, it will speed up over time. At first it takes a bit of practice to get to it, but then when you're in control of not only the things you're doing, you're actively doing, as well as your thoughts, then you are 100% control of your life. It's then clear that you have 100% responsibility for your life, because everything that happens to you then is down to you. So all the decisions you make ultimately are down to you. Nobody makes you or makes me make a decision. I or you choose to make that decision. So it's possibly subconscious, possibly more conscious, but ultimately we make the decision. And I think once this is something I've noticed recently, after I've sort of really, of this time of lots of introspection, that once I realised that taking 100% responsibility for everything in my life, everything that I'm doing, suddenly it sounds weird, because you think taking responsibility is almost sort of taking all the burdens, but actually it's quite freeing. You feel quite more in charge, and you're there of your own life, and you feel more, there's no one else, and it's less of a sort of weight around your neck, the fact that everything that happens to me is entirely down to me. And that power, that freedom is very, very sort of lifting. It's counterintuitive, I know, but once you realise it, it's lovely. You think, well, actually, everything I do, I'm almost like the master of my own destiny, as big and perhaps over dramatic as that sounds, but that's the reality of it. Everything that happens to me is down to me. And once you take that power away from other people, other things, other situations, it makes life a lot easier and a lot happier, if that makes sense. Even though it sounds like you're taking all the weight of the world onto your shoulders, you're not actually, because if you do, that's your decision. You decide if you want to take the weight of the world onto your shoulders or not. It's down to you, down to me. And that whole concept is hugely, hugely powerful. Once I started thinking that way, it's like, wow. And said, once you start to almost train your brain to almost think before acting. So something happens, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that sort of take a breath. In scuba diving, it's stop, breathe, think. So same in this case. You stop, breathe, take a breath, and then, okay, how am I feeling towards this action, this thing that's happened, this event? Am I feeling sort of devastated? Am I feeling happy? Or, whatever it is. And more importantly, then the next thing is this feeling, this emotion, what I'm feeling, is it good for me? Is it going to sort of resolve anything? So say your car breaks down, you're going to be annoyed, you're going to be pissed off. That's understandable. But if you look at your feelings, is being annoyed going to change the fact that the car has broken down? No, of course not. The car has broken down, that's happened. How you respond and react, I said, it's not that you have to be happy about it, but you can be neutral about it. It's happened. However I react, happy or sad, the car's still broken down. It doesn't change it. So why not have a more of a neutral in this case? Because then how your rest of your day will pan out will be hugely, hugely subjective on the decision of how you feel. So how often have you got up in the morning, maybe stubbed your toe, and then kind of been annoyed by that? You carry that and go into the bathroom, and you've already got dressed, say, and then you spray water all over your shirt, so you have to change that. Then you get in the car, then you get into traffic and you're annoyed, and then pretty much the rest of the day you're just in a bad mood because it started out bad, and how you reacted to those bad things has continued to manifest itself all the way through, and you're just in a horrible, shitty, bad mood all day. Whereas if you wake up, stub your toe, ouch, that hurt, but it's not the end of the world, and carry on, and kind of, not necessarily, it's not all about just putting a positive spin on everything, but being aware of how you react, and is that reaction doing you any good, or is it going to change anything? If you're pissed off about stubbing your toe, splashing your shirt, and being in traffic, you're still got pain in your toe from stubbing it, you still got to change your shirt, and you're still going to be in traffic. That doesn't really change it. So why be pissed off about it? Because it's not actually going to help. I know it sounds a lot easier than it's a lot easier than it sounds a lot easier than it initially is, but just taking that little step, take a breath and think, is what I'm thinking, is what I'm feeling, one, doing me good, and also, more importantly, is it going to change the outcome? And 99% of the time it's not. Oh, this is not really a park, it's just some sort of general land type area. It's gorgeous though, it's very quiet. There's actually less people because there's no lake, and it's just sort of, I don't even know what you'd call this. I don't even know the name of this place, but it's probably about 2 minutes from my house. It's lovely. It's so quiet, peaceful, bushes, trees, all the good things that you want in countryside, but without the millions of people running around. So taking responsibility for everything in your life is hugely, hugely powerful and liberating, because ultimately everything you do in your life is down to the decisions that you make. And once you accept this and understand this and put this into practice, it's very, very liberating. So I hope you got some value from this video. It's one of a sort of series I want to start doing about sort of how you can really sort of just change the way you think and to have a much better and happier and successful life. So if you do like this, appreciate some comments. What sort of things have you noticed? Have you ever noticed that you've reacted to things and then maybe dial it down a little bit? Or, you know, what you think of this anyway. I'd love you to subscribe if you haven't already, so please hit that subscription button and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm releasing a new video. And yeah, like this video, smash that like till it's blue in the face. Really appreciate it. But for now, have a great day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.